Hello everybody, this is Carol from Friendly Quail. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for being here with me today. I am still working on my sample journal here, and I've got pages. I was putting numbers on it now because I kept forgetting. This is going to be 8 and 9. And this one had this dangle hanging on it, and one of the colors in it was this kind of minty green. So I pulled some pages from an herb book that were greenish and kind of a minty green, and used those on this one here. And set for my next one, it's going to be these. So anyway, I've been having lots of fun and going through everything that I have, because you forget what you've got. You forget the things that you made. So I've pulled things out, pockets and things like that, and things that would kind of go along with the theme. So it's been really fun. I have to say, I've been putting off doing some other things because I just want to do this all the time. So I decided on this page I'm going to kind of do a pocket, a double pocket type thing here with some of my Tim Holtz ephemera or scrapbook paper. So I've already folded it and I've glued this down. This was a rectangle and I just folded it over and I glued it down along here. That'll make a tuck spot up in here. And I'm going to put glue down just the side and the bottom, because the other one's going to go over it, and then there'll be a tuck spot for that one. So I'm going to line this up and at the edge of the paper and hold it down, because I want to be able to put things behind it. This one will be here, and it'll be like one big pocket back here. Oh, I put a quilt on my quilt frame and I haven't touched it, and I know it's fear because I haven't done it for a while and I always get really nervous about it. And so I've been avoiding it by doing this. No, yeah. But anyway, okay, I got that side down. And after this page, I have to take a little bit of a break and work on my quilting, but I'm a little ahead, so I have a couple of videos that I can post while I'm quilting. So when I come back after this, it won't be too long for you, but I hopefully will have quilted a quilt. And there's my other part of it. Whoops, it just moved. Okay. All right. There we go. And then I will just have to pop out that hole where the thing goes on, where the ring goes in, the ring binder part. So I popped it back out. So now I have a hole here, but that's where the ring will be. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry just for a second. I'm going to go to this side and I'm going to put a pocket on here that I want to put on before I do anything else. Now this was one I had in my stash. I made a video for my pockets, and this is one of the using the decoupage on book page pockets. And then I pulled out something that, I'm not selling this, so it's just for me, and it's an idea book, and I didn't really like the way this turned out that much, but I like the method, and that's what the point is. I had taken some old scrapbook paper that was really ugly that I would never use, and I gessoed over it. And then I stenciled. And I can see a little bit of the scrapbook through it, and it was kind of a reddish color and pinkish red. So I stenciled over the gesso, and this is a fussy cut. I didn't cut out in between the leaves, but the rest of it was a fussy cut. This is a little dangle that I had made a while ago. I saw somebody do this, and they look like little tags. By putting book page, or I use music paper in between. I bought these little, I don't have a laminator, so I bought these little things that you would put a picture in and it would laminate the picture, and I use those. And then I put a little eyelet in it, and I just have a little lace and hung that. And I want this to be by the edge of the page so that this will hang outside of the book a little bit. And I had a little snippet on here too, but it had with the mint green, you know, I thought the green went okay. And there's blues in some of the other things that I use. There's blue in here, there's a little blue there. So I thought that would be a good tag for here. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to glue the whole thing down, because this this will not have another tag behind it or anything. And if I remember right, some of these were a little bit, the paper was not as strong as I would have liked. Now, it's strong on the front because with the napkin going on it, with the Mod Podge, that made it more strong than what just paper. And I really like the way that looked too. So I'm going to put this pretty close to the edge and get that on here too. And I didn't put a thumb notch in because I just didn't want to take away any of the picture, but this, you know, it goes in pretty easy. So that tag will be in there. I'm going to leave it out temporarily. Okay. Now, because I had the napkin on here, I made a couple of cards. I used the leftovers. So underneath this napkin is this paper. And underneath this napkin is this paper, because I had pieces left over. So I got out my napkins, and this is actually not the same napkin this is from. This was from a tea size or a cocktail size napkin. This was from a full size napkin, but it's the same pictures. And this one was a completely separate napkin. It was a little cocktail size, and I ended up putting 2 parts of it on. And they're pretty just the way they are. I backed them with coffee dyed, it's a lightweight cardstock, and then stitched with gray thread around them. This I made, it's a little dangle. A lot of times I use a bulb pin and hook it onto something on the outside, sometimes even on the outside of a journal for a dangle on the front cover. This one I had a C on. Well, my name's Carol, so I figured this is my journal, I'll use it. It had the blue background. It's a wrapped, I have a video showing how to make these. It's a wrapped paper clip with different glitzy things and some copper wire around it. And I think I put a patina on here because these are all silver. I got those in a thrift store thing. So that one is going to just go in here. Oh, and I also found some seam binding that has that kind of minty green blue color. So I'm going to put that in here and let this kind of dangle over that pocket. And then this one I just left it as a square journal card. And I'm going to put that in here and leave it up so that you can see the bird. And I've got my holes free. Move that one over just a little bit. Okay. And so now I have some other pockets here. So I pulled out a couple of, and made some tiny little journals. This one was just a Tim Holtz thing I had. I think it was Tim Holtz, and it's Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. And I remember having that book when I was a teenager, like in college age in there, and I read the whole thing and I loved it. And you know, it kind of reminded me of nature type stuff. So well, here, I'll stick it in like that. I'm just going to stick that in there as a little journaling card. I made this one. This is a faux postage stamp. Usually I put a picture on, but I had a quote, so I thought, well, I'll try that one. And it says, it's an Omar Khayyam from the Rubaiyat. One thing is certain and the rest is lies. The flower that once has blown forever dies. So I put the word forever on here. This is something, I had one of those label makers. It was like a really old one. And I made a whole bunch of words. And then I taped them onto a sheet of paper and I scanned it. And so this is just paper that I ran off. It's flat, so it doesn't have that width. And just put a little tiny piece of seam binding on with a little knotted on with a little bit of thread. And I'm going to stick that one in here. And then I had another pocket right here, so I just took one of these little labels that I just coffee dyed these. They were purchase labels. It had a really heavy, thick tag on it, or string on it, so I cut that off. And I just used a little bit of paper doily, paper book page, and put a couple little ephemera things on. This is something that when I did my journal, Journeys Through Bookland, I cut out all these little things and I glued them on a piece of paper and scanned them. But they came out kind of orangey. I went over it with Distress ink to make it not as orange. But there's kind of a little bit of orangey stuff in here. So that is, and B for bird and butterfly. So I'll stick that in there. Right? So then I thought I need something on these. And so I pulled out some, and again, I have a video doing these, but some fabric flowers that I had made. This is made by just gathering some lace, and I put a button on it, and I'm going to glue that one on there. And then this one was some, it was from when I took apart a rug from India, and they would just use like leftovers from their making their clothes and stuff like that. It's not really sari silk, but it's a glitzy fabric, and it had just a little blue in it, a little tan, a little green. That was just in the fabric. So I had a different grommet, or not grommet, brad in here, and I pulled it out and I had a fancy one with some green, and I'm going to put that on right there. So I'm going to get my Fabri-Tac out, since this is fabric and lumpy, and yeah, I'm not sure how many more pages I'm going to be able to get in here. I think a few more. And then if I want to do more samples, I'll have to make another journal. That's one thing, that there's a lot of bulk in here. But that's because I want so much on one page. So this is going to just kind of go like right in here. This is an antique button. I got it at kind of like a craft show. A lady was getting rid of a whole bunch of buttons, and So I bought some of the antique buttons because she was selling them dirt cheap. Okay, and this one. Should put that on. Okay, come on. Start coming out. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to put that on here. That way I've got some of my fabric flowers to remind me about them. That's one thing, is that I'm finding things I forgot that I had. And so putting these things on here, and if I look through here when I'm going to make a journal, I actually, to get my ideas, look through some of my other old journals to see what I had made. So, you know, I don't have to look back at all my other journals. I can just look at this one, and I've got lots and lots of ideas in here. Now, I decided for here, I made kind of a little side pocket. And it is going to go like right here on the edge, and then I'll poke the holes back in it. So, but I'm going to make it as a pocket. So I'm going to put the glue on. Uh-oh, I left it open and it's closing up on me. That one's too big. Sorry about that. I had the pin right there. Okay. Now, I'm going to go along the edge here. And along the edge here. This will be on this side. Whoops. I don't have to worry about it getting perfectly to the edge because I'm going to poke some holes in it. So anything I put in here couldn't go in further than that anyway. So I kind of got a little secret journaling spot here. All right. I'm going to line this up. Now what I did is I just cut a piece of cardstock from my Tim Holtz paper that I was using, and because I had the eggs on the napkins over here, I put the napkins here. Oh, and another thing I did is when I decoupage things, I noticed that they would always stick together, so I put a little wax on here. I have this stuff. It's finishing wax. I just use my fingers, but you just allow it to, you have to let it dry because it contains oil. But it's mostly beeswax, walnut, carnauba, and other plant oils. Solvent-free petroleum. So it's just like a little wax, and I just kind of rub it on my decoupage. I learned that when I was working with art journaling, my pages were sticking together. Well, come on. And I learned about using that to keep them from sticking. So I did put some on all of the decoupage things. So, okay, this is pretty dry. So what I did is I took a little bit of coffee dyed paper. This one I had put a leaf-shaped placemat over it, plastic placemat. And I just cut a 4-inch piece, folded it. So now it's an inch, so it'll fit in here even when I poke the holes, which I should do first. Redo the holes. Whoop, I gotta get that other one out of there. They always stick in here. And I have to keep this open so I can see where I'm going with my hole. It's still not out of there. Maybe it is. Okay. I'm going to poke the hole in there and get my hole back. See, there's that one. Maybe if I hold it upside down like this, yep, then it falls out easier. Okay, got 2 more. And 1 more. Okay. Yeah, it falls out a lot easier if I hold it upside down. That makes sense, right? Okay. So there's holes here and here and here. I have the word grow here. But now I can take my little tiny folded piece of paper and slide it in here. And it's kind of hidden for journaling. Okay, now this goes on here, so I wanted something for up here, and so I decided to do a corner tuck, and this is also a hidden journaling spot, although I put this on to make it look good. It slides right on here, and I'm going to show you how to make one of those, and then you'll see how it's also a secret journal card. I'm going to get that out of the way temporarily. You need a square of paper. This one is a 6-inch square. And you fold it in half diagonally. Okay. And then you open it up and you fold it in half the other way diagonally. This is an origami type thing. I've seen it on many different people's sites or channels on YouTube and stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to fold it. I have to think of how I did that. Oh, you fold these in. Whew. Don't want to forget when I'm trying to show you how to do it. So what I did is I folded this corner into right where it was folded in half. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to fold this corner in to the same place. Okay. Now I fold it back closed like this. And yeah, and I'm going to fold, here's my halfway mark. I'm going to take this and fold it down right there. So it's kind of going along that fold line that I had put in there before. Do the same thing on this side. And I try to get it, you know, that's why the thicker the paper, like I would never do this with cardstock. I'm trying to get this to match up so this line goes together. Okay. And there is paper inside of there, you know, so this is quite a few there. Now this side is already a triangle, but this side has these. So you bend it over and fold that there, and then you go ahead and open this up and you tuck it inside. Okay, I'm going to do that same thing. Actually, I think it works better if I fold it the opposite way. I think I get it more even with that. And then take it in. Okay, I like that better. Now you have your corner tuck. Go over the corner of your page like that. And I put the doily on that side, but it still comes off and on, and I can still unfold it. You could put something here too, but you can't put it away from here. So then you can take it off and you can unfold it. And you have a secret journaling spot. Pretty slick, huh? I love that. But like I said, you can't do it with too thick a paper. Okay, so that is a neat little origami corner tuck and slick. Cool, huh? Okay, so we have pages 8 and 9 completed with lots of different ideas, lots of different things that I've used in journals, and I'm, ready to hit my quilting. I have to get over my fear and get quilting, but I'll be posting one of these every couple days, and so by the time I come back to do the next page, hopefully I will have a quilt done. Wouldn't that be good? Okay, I have to finish them up. I have like a whole bunch of unfinished quilts. I have the tops all done, and they just need to be quilted, and I do have a machine. It's a mid-arm. So that's what I will be doing for a couple of days in here. And then I'll let myself journal again. How about that? Okay, this is Carol from Friendly Quail. I'm thanking you for being here and saying bye.